Hi, and welcome to the course orientation for this course, Philosophy of Psychology. My name is Roger Foster, and I'm a philosophy professor at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. This course counts as a social science elective or a general elective in the psychology major, and it also counts as an elective in the philosophy major. So it's a joint course in philosophy slash psychology. And in this course orientation, I want to talk you through how the course is going to be organized. I want to talk you through the assignments and everything that's going to be expected of you and everything that you need to know to do well in this course. So let's jump in and talk about the course and how it's going to work. All right, so what we're going to try and do in the course is a kind of introduction to the core problems, the main problems in the philosophy of psychology. And this includes topics such as theories of mind, moral motivation and judgment, free will and responsibility, and also psychology in its social context. And we're also interested in the question, why did philosophy and psychology become separate disciplines from the 19th century onwards? For most of history, for most of Western history, they were part of the same discipline. Psychology was simply part of philosophy, and philosophy was closely related to theology for large parts of its history as well. So one of the things we want to do in this course is use the kind of theoretical insight of philosophy and the kind of more sort of pragmatic or empirical insight of psychology to illuminate and make sense of each other. And as we'll see, a lot of the problems that we're going to talk about, such as theories of mind, moral judgment and motivation, free will, etc., we need to draw on theoretical issues and sort of the way that we can sort of use theory to understand an idea like free will or a sort of a theory about the mind. And then we also want to be aware that we can use sort of more empirical methods to sort of test ideas, to sort of test the scope of a particular theory or idea, to see how it resonates, to find out how it sort of how it works in a particular context. So there's ways in which this sort of theory and the kind of more empirical approach of contemporary psychology, these things can illuminate each other in areas where we're talking about these common areas of concern. Theories of mind, what is a mind, how does it work, how is it related to the brain, and we can sort of talk about empirical and also theoretical ways of sort of investigating and approaching those questions. And we're also going to draw upon the social sciences more broadly, of which both philosophy and psychology are part, sort of understood as social sciences in many respects. And we'll draw upon the social sciences, including history and sociology, to ask critical questions about psychology as a discipline. How did it become what it is today? Why did it separate from philosophy in the 19th century? And what does that tell us about how psychology sees itself? Okay, so let's talk about the sort of course and its organization. So this is a 15-week asynchronous course. It starts in week 0 and goes through week 14, organized into weekly segments. Week 14 is the final week, and it's in fact exam week. The work must be completed on a weekly basis. So there are weekly tasks that must be done, must be completed by the sort of deadline, and all the deadlines I'll show you shortly are in the course map. I'll show you where to find them. So to be successful in this class, you must be active and present and participating and doing assignments every week. So this is something I really want to stress, that this is a class. In other words, what we're doing here is sort of collective learning, including learning from each other. it's not a self-study module. So it's not the case that everybody's just doing their own thing and doing the assignments on their own. What's happening in this course is that we're working together every week to make sense of the material and to build on our learning. So asynchronous effectively means you can complete the work on your own schedule, provided you make all the weekly deadlines. So that's super important. You have some scope to view the lectures at a time that's convenient for you, and to do the weekly assignments at a time during the week that works for you. But you have to get them done during the week that they're actually due. And this course, because it's organized into weekly segments, there's work that must be completed every week. So the weekly assignments, and especially as I'll talk about shortly, the markup assignments and the VoiceThread assignments, are assignments that we do together. They represent what we could call the class learning portion of this class. Imagine if this was a classroom and we were meeting face to face, there would be a kind of class learning component. Well, that's partly what we're doing with the markup and the VoiceThread assignments. So we're a class, we're not just all here doing our own thing, and we're coming together to work on assignments every week. So to be successful, you have to be able to be active in this class every week. All right, so the textbook that we're using in this class is the Philosophy of Psychology, and we'll be using this for a number of weeks in the semester. All of the readings that we'll use, I will make available on Blackboard. They will be uploaded to Blackboard as PDFs, and you can access them. You can access them on Blackboard. But unfortunately, I can't do that with this textbook. So this is something you're going to have to acquire. It's been ordered for the BMCC bookshop. You can also find it online at textbook sellers, including Amazon, of course. So take a look around and see what you can find. It's fairly new, but I'm sure there are some secondhand copies that you'll be able to get a hold of. But this is the only text that you need to get a hold of for this class. So there are usually 2 readings per week, and I would recommend reading a paper once to get a general idea, to get a sort of general sense of what it's about, and a second time to pick up the specific claims in the reading. What is it saying specifically? What are the claims that it makes? How can we sort of break those down and understand them? I'd encourage all of you, as much as possible, take notes and mark the reading. Whether you read online or whether you sort of print out and read the reading as a printed copy, you can sort of mark it, you can highlight. I like to say you can interact with the text, because that's really what's key here. The more time you can spend working with the text, interacting with it, asking questions about it, looking for answers within it, the more you're going to get from it, and you're going to be in a better position to do the weekly assignments. So interact, take notes, highlight. The more you can do around the text, the more you will get from it. So put some time each week into the course readings and into trying to make sense of them. Okay, so the syllabus has my information, it has a course description, a description of assignments, and it also has a course outline with all the readings and dates for the course. So make sure you have a close look at the syllabus. It also has the evaluation and requirements section, which is probably the most important part of it, and it's made up of these components. So there are going to be 12 quizzes in the course, and the quizzes will make up 15% of the grade. There will be 10 markup assignments. They will also be 15% of the grade. 10 VoiceThread assignments, which will also be 15%. Those 3 are the weekly assignments. In addition, there will be 2 essays, 4 pages maximum each, 20% each. And the final exam at the end of the course, which will be 15%. So I'll just tell you about the course map, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you about these assignments in more detail. Okay, so the course map, again, like the syllabus, you'll find this on the left-hand side of the Blackboard site when you log into Blackboard. You'll see the syllabus and the course map, and also the rubrics there, which I'll tell you about shortly. So the course map is really important because it's got all of the assignments, all of the things that you have to do each week, and the due dates in addition. So you'll see the weeks and dates each week. You'll see the topic for that week. You'll see what readings are due. You'll see the video lectures. There's always a key concepts video lecture that is accompanying the texts, and watching the video and the texts will give you what you need to know in order to complete the assignments. And then the weekly assignments and tasks, the hypothesis and the VoiceThread assignments, and finally the quizzes, essays, and exams. So the sort of assessment-based assignments, they are you'll find the due dates for those here. So the course map is very important for getting oriented and finding the dates and finding out everything that you need to know on a weekly basis. So if ever you want to sort of check when something is due, make sure you have a look on the course map. And it's usually tends to be pretty standard. Hypothesis markups are due on Thursday, VoiceThreads on Friday, quizzes are due on Sunday at the end of the week. And the week runs from Monday until Sunday, and the next week starts the following Monday. Okay, so like I said, there are 5 particular assignments. There's the quizzes, the text or hypothesis markup assignments. Hypothesis is the name of the company that sort of makes this Blackboard add-on. So I often call them that, but they're basically text markup assignments. The VoiceThread assignments, where you'll leave a voice note. The essays, 2 essays, and the final exam. So let's talk about each one of these in turn. All right, so each week you'll do a quiz, which will be comprised of 10 questions and is worth 100 points. So there are 12 quizzes in total, which works out to 1,200 points. And those 1,200 points make up 15% of the grade. So the quizzes will be multiple choice, true, false, and fill in the blank. You have 30 minutes to complete the quizzes, and they're based on the reading and the lecture each week. So obviously do the reading, interact as much as you can, get as much out the reading as you can, watch the key concepts lecture, and then you'll be in a good place to do the assignments. The quizzes are due on Sunday at the end of the week, so you'll probably end up doing the other assignments first, which I think makes sense. I think you want to do the quiz last. All right, so the markup assignments, and again, there will be 10 assignments here. They'll be worth 5 points per assignment. So here it's 50 points at 15% of the grade. And in each markup assignment, you have to do 3 specific things. You have to write 1 substantial post of 100 words or more responding to a specific part of the text, or the text that we are sort of looking at that week as the assignment. This is not the weekly reading, by the way. When we do a markup assignment, we're looking at a different text. It's shorter than the weekly reading. It's often not as sort of dense, and it gives you a chance to kind of respond to the topic. All right, so 1 substantial post, 100 words or more, responding to a segment of it. 1 question about the text as well. So you'll ask a question, and 1 response to a classmate. Okay, so you can respond to their post, you can answer their question, as long as you do a response. So you have to do those 3 things for each weekly hypothesis markup assignment. And this is the rubric for the markup assignment. Again, you'll see this in Blackboard under the rubrics tab. And I've tried to give you a sense of how the points are sort of earned here. And there are three sort of criteria: the quality of the writing, does it have good style and voice? The incorporation of course themes, does it sort of incorporate some of the important course themes and use them to sort of make a point? Does it show understanding and insight? Insight into the course material? Does it demonstrate understanding? Does it show that it knows what it's talking about with relation to the material? And also the effort that you put into the question and the reply to a classmate. So there's 5 points maximum there. Take a look at the rubric. Like I said, it's posted on Blackboard as well. And I think in the first few weeks, you'll get a sense of what I expect from in these assignments. Okay, so the VoiceThread assignments are also 10 assignments in total during the semester. Again, they're 5 points each. So there's a total of 50 points here, which is worth 15% of the grade. And for the VoiceThread assignment, you're required to do one substantial voice response, responding to the VoiceThread prompt, and one response to a classmate, where you'll respond to a classmate sort of response. All right, so here's again the VoiceThread rubric. Again, this is under the rubrics tab. You'll see it in Blackboard. And the things that are important here for the VoiceThread are originality, comprehension, and clarity. So is there a unique perspective? Are you able to contribute something of your own to the discussion that represents your perspective? Does it show a good understanding of the relevant sort of concepts and ideas? How well does it understand the material? And thirdly, clarity. Are the ideas presented clearly? Does it sort of sharpen and enhance the points made, bringing out those ideas fully? So those are the things I'm looking for: some originality, good comprehension of the material and the task, and clarity in how the ideas are presented. And again, there's a split from 1 to 5 points. And once you start doing them, you'll see, I think you'll see what's expected pretty quickly. Okay, so we're going to do 2 essays in this class. They'll be submitted on Blackboard. And essay 1 is due at the end of week 6. Essay 2 will be due at the end of week 12. They are both 4 to 5 pages long, will be in response to a prompt, a question that I will give you at least 3 weeks before the deadline. And we will have one VoiceThread essay prep session prior to the deadline, where we'll kind of work on ideas for the paper. So I'll circulate the questions. There is an essay rubric as well in the rubrics tab on Blackboard, so you can see what's expected for the essay. And I'll set up an assignment on Blackboard where you can submit it. And like I said, the prompts will be available 3 weeks in advance. Essay 1 is due at the end of week 6. Essay 2 will be due at the end of week 12. So stay tuned for those questions, which I'll give you, like I said, at least 3 weeks before the due date for the essays. Okay, so the final exam is a 2-hour timed exam taken at the end of the semester. It's not going to be designed as a memory test or a knowledge test, but it'll give you a chance to show what you have learned in the class. It'll be a response to an open-ended prompt that I'll give you, that'll give you a chance to sort of explore and show what you've learned. And I'll provide a final review sheet and a final review video prior to finals week. Prior to finals week, when we'll do the final exam. So later in the semester, you'll get I'll prepare you for the final with those things, and you'll have a good sense of what the final's about. Like I said, it's not a knowledge test. It's not a test of how many facts you've learned in the semester. but it'll give you a chance to show what you've learned and how you can sort of display that in the final. Okay, my office hours, Tuesday 12:45 to 1:45 on the main campus, Wednesday 4 to 5 on Zoom, and Thursday at 3:30 to 4:30, again on the main campus. It's on the 6th floor in the social science department in room N651V. So you can drop by to those office hours. You don't need an appointment. If you let me know that you're coming, that's great, and it sort of and then I know to expect you, and I can probably make more time for you. But you don't have to have an appointment for those face-to-face office hours. If you want to meet on Zoom, please contact me by email or phone, and we can meet at that time or another time. If another time works better for you, we can try to set that up too. So reach out. The best way to reach me is email. Phone is also a good way to reach me. So if you need anything, office hours, email, and phone are the ways to reach out. And finally, good luck in the course. Like I said, reach out by email or office hours if you need something. Even though I won't I won't see you in class as such, I'll be there sort of present, sort of grading and making sure everything's running and putting things up. So if ever you need to shoot me an email and talk about something, I'm always available. So good luck. I hope you have a good start to the semester. If there's anything you need, if you run into any problems, please reach out as soon as possible, and I'll help you as much as I can to get you on track. And I wish you a positive, a healthy, and a good semester where you have some good learning.